My next guest, and as I said, we're doing this in two parts. So my next guest, I'm sure many of you have heard of already. She is an enemy of the state of Iran. 3 months ago, she was the subject of an assassination attempt at her home in Brooklyn. A year ago, she was nearly kidnapped by Iranian forces. She is considered to be, and how's this for an introduction? The mullahs have called you a hostile government. One person, one woman, is a hostile government. Masih Alinejad, thank you.
Oh my God, come on, Ahmadinejad, no.
No, what did I say? Oh, Alinejad.
I'm used to it. People butcher my name, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Alinejad, thank you so much.
I was using a southern accent for that, but anyway, okay.
Ahmadinejad was going to eliminate Israel, Iranian people, homosexual, but Alinejad is going to take Iran back.
Yeah, well, boy, am I glad I got your name wrong. So let me just go on with this introduction because it's so unusual. You've survived assassination, you've survived kidnapping, your brother was put into prison for a couple of years, your sister was forced to go on national television in Iran to denounce you, and you are the leader. Every revolution needs a spark, and sometimes, particularly as I see it in Iran right now, there are many sparks, but one of the sparks that got all those other sparks going was you.
It was not me.
Well,
it was the women of Iran. Let me make it very clear. The government, yes, they came after me. But what I do, I just echo the voice of Iranian people, Iranian women. 8 years ago, when I launched the campaign against compulsory hijab, we've been ignored. People were saying that, especially the female politicians from EU, have been ignoring us and saying that compulsory hijab is like the small issue. We're going to go there and negotiate with your murderers to solve bigger problems. For such a small issue, Mahsa Amini, 20-year-old woman, got killed. And Sarina, Nika, teenagers are getting killed in Iran. 4 years ago, when I was in Canadian Parliament, I called on Canada to sanction Revolutionary Guards, to put them in terrorist lists, and we were ignored. So I was just echoing the voice of Iranian people. Now you see that the same Revolutionary Guards shot down the Ukrainian airplane and killed innocent Iranian Canadian passengers. Now Revolutionary Guards is in the streets and killing innocent people. So my job is just to echo the voice of Iranian people inside Iran, and that scares the regime, especially the women. Women were walking in the street practicing their civil disobedience, and I was publishing their video. Their video got like 9 million views. Believe me, more than the Ayatollah altogether.
Yeah.
So this is the power of women inside Iran, and they're scared of Iranian women.
Well, they're afraid of you in particular. But you have, you may say that you're just reflective of voices in Iran, but in fact, you've got an extraordinary platform that goes with kind of an extraordinary personality. But you've been able to speak to world leaders. You've been able to take the message of revolution because you are not the only one, but you are one of the prime movers of the campaign against the compulsory use of the hijab. Tell me something about, you met with French President Macron recently. Tell me about that.
Yes, I made him to call the uprising as it is, a revolution. But let me be very clear with you. It was not that easy. When I met him, I was very angry because you all saw a picture of him shaking the hand of Ebrahim Raisi, you know? And Ebrahim Raisi is the butcher. And I'm here actually to call the media, stop giving democratic titles to the murderers of Iran. So I was angry, and I told him that, look at my face. Look at the face of Iranian women. We share the values with you more than those backward mullahs. How did you shake the hand of a murderer? He said that France is all about diplomacy. And I said to President Macron, no, France is also about revolution. France has respect for revolutionary ideas. This is a revolution taking place in Iran, led by women, supported by men. And I want you to be the first country, the leader of the G7, to recognize the revolution, and he did. I said that there's a famous saying that revolution devour its children. But now in Iran, the grandchildren are devouring the Islamic Revolution because we are fed up. And I have actually a simple question here as well. If it was not the women of Iran, if it was the women in Canada being killed just because a little bit of hair is visible, if it was you here being kicked out from a stadium just because of being women, then how do you call the regime? Gender apartheid? No? This is what I asked President Macron, and I'm calling the leaders of G7. Isolate the Islamic Republic the way that you were treating South Africa during the apartheid. Isolate the Islamic Republic the way that you isolate Putin. And I actually asked President Macron that when you see Iranian people are getting killed in the street, how do you feel? Don't think that we are fighting for ourselves. Iranians are putting their lives in danger. They're fighting to save democracy because Khamenei is helping Putin, sending drones to Putin to kill innocent Ukrainians. You all remember when Putin was in Syria, people in the West were like, we are not Syrian. When Putin was in Georgia, people were like, we are not Georgian. Now the war is here, in the heart of Europe. And that's why I believe that all the leaders of democratic countries, they must get united and isolate Khamenei and his gang of killers. If the democratic countries, right now that I'm talking Canadian citizen, US citizen, British citizen, German citizen, all the dual national citizens are in Iranian prison, being used to get, like bargaining chip to get nuclear deal. Believe me, the dictators from Russia to China to Iran, Venezuela, they're more united than democratic countries. The democratic countries should get united and isolate the Islamic Republic, downgrade their relation with the Islamic Republic, and ask for the release of all innocent political prisoners. And if you don't get united, believe me, the dictators will get united and they will end democracy.
Let me add one more thing to that list, because I'm interested in the actionable stuff that can be done. You've mentioned a few things. But I'm wondering whether it's time to start recognizing the opposition forces in Iran as the opposition, as the government in waiting.
That's a very good question because, look, for years and years, the Islamic Republic had its own lobbyists, which actually you heard some of the voice here from New York, trying to say that, what's going to happen after the Islamic Republic is going to be gone? Then what's going to happen? Iran is going to be like Syria. Iran is going to be like Libya. Iran doesn't have any opposition. It's wrong. When you open the door of Evin prison, when you open the doors of prison across Iran, there are more educated people, opposition, they can lead the country better than these backward mullahs. And this is the first time in the history we see a sense of unity among oppositions inside and outside Iran. We are united when it comes to bring the Islamic Republic down. And that's why I strongly believe that this unity should give address to the leaders of democratic countries, that they should get united as well, and they have to meet with the coalition of the opposition, human rights activists, civil society activists, and understand that this is the time, whether they want to stand in the right side of the history or in the wrong side of the history. They have to recognize Iran revolution and make themselves ready for a country without backward mullahs, for a country where women and men are equal, for a country that people are not getting killed for just expressing themselves. Believe me, Iran without the Islamic Republic would make the world a much safer place. If the West is really looking for stability in the region, they cannot go after one of the most unstable regimes and bury human rights under nuclear deal. That's why I strongly believe, yes, this is the time that the Western countries, instead of just shaking the hands of murderers, they have to shake the hand of those who are fighting for democracy.
Just one last thing about the Macron meeting that you had. Did he agree to see you again?
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
good.
Not just himself. He agreed. He promised, President Macron, if you hear me, He promised that he is ready to make the leaders of G7 to meet with the leading opposition, human rights activists, and push them to recognize the revolution right now is taking place in Iran and negotiate with those who want dignity, democracy, and freedom.
We've got not a whole lot of time, but we do have some time, and I'd like to open up the floor to anybody who would like to join the discussion. Anybody who dares. Trust me, you got to bring your A game to this one. Here we go. Yes?
No, I survived assassination plot. I'm not scared of difficult question.
Well, you're not afraid, but how about me? Yeah, okay.
I'm with you.
Hello, yes. Hi, very nice meeting you again, and it's good to see you in person. I just wanted to ask you, let's say that the Iranian government, the current government, they're done. Do you guys have a plan? Who's going to come and who's going to govern and who's going to take care of the affairs? I'm from Afghanistan. We've been through a horrible, horrible experience. I just want to make sure to know whether you have a plan. I mean, it's easy to say, okay, this government, go away. What's next? Anything for Iran?
That's a very good question. Let me first start from women of Afghanistan. I strongly believe that if we get successful to kick out Taliban in Islamic Republic, women from Afghanistan, women from Iran, they have better plan than these backward, barbaric Islamic states. Of course we have plan. Of course we have so many strong leaders inside Iran. Let me just name some of them. Majid Tawakkoli, Hossein Ronaqi, for years and years, they have been actually echoing the voice of ordinary people, the voice of freedom fighters inside Iran, trying to tell the rest of the world that, do not legitimize the Islamic Republic and stand with the people of Iran. They were actually trying to expose the lobbyists of the Islamic Republic as well. Now they are under torture in Iran. They are in prison. And they might be some of those who are actually the Iranian regime threatened them to receive death sentence, to kill them. So we have many educated people. We have many intellectual people inside and outside Iran. They are ready. They have planned to run the country. But the thing is that the Islamic Republic is successful to sell their narrative to the Western countries and saying that if you recognize the opposition, or if you, put the nuclear talk behind, Iran is going to be Libya. Iran is going to be Syria. But I'm here to tell you that Islamic Republic imposed war on its own people right now. 3 years ago, 1,500 people got killed. When the West didn't punish the Islamic Republic, there's no reason for them to stop more people, to stop killing more people. So for that, I strongly believe that if we get united and kick out and isolate these warmongers, regime and isolate them, of course it's going to empower Iranian people to bring regime change within the society. We have better plan than Taliban and Islamic Republic.
Let me ask if anybody else would like to get into this. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Rachel Kleinfeld, and my question is a very practical one. I know a few years ago, people inside Iran were a little worried that U.S. help or foreign help might taint the movement. I'm wondering if now is a time when opposition parties, and I use that plural, could be helped by foreign efforts to help them organize, get the comms, get the background, and also whether there are parts of the military that might be able to take part in those conversations for future defections?
That's a very good question. Look, it breaks my heart when I see that still this is a question, people saying that whether the US government, the Canadian government, whether the foreign government supports, put people's lives in danger. Look, this is very clear. Human rights, women's rights is a global issue. And everyone should take a stance. When Burkini ban happened in France, when George Floyd brutally got killed in America, what was the reaction of the rest of the world? Everyone got united, no? Then what is different between the people of Iran, the people of Afghanistan, and the people in the West? Now teenagers are getting killed. Children are getting killed in Iran. Of course, the US government should call its allies in the West to kick out all the diplomats. Of course, this is the time for the Western countries to close their embassy and cut their ties with these murderers. Of course, they have to support. I mean, that was the wrong narrative of it. You know, some of the apologists and lobbyists convinced Obama's administration to stop supporting green movement. What happened? Obama recently admitted that it was a mistake.
I'm sorry, the question was
So,
organizing a democratic opposition and whether there were military elements that could be brought into that.
yes, but the Western government should start supporting and legitimizing the revolution first. And now the oil workers are walking out from their works. So where is the help from Western government? You know, they have to survive. I strongly believe, I have a very radical idea here, I strongly believe that the Western government should actually offer the army in Iran, stop killing people, we're going to pay your salaries. Yes, they have to do it. Especially, there is a lot of, you know, people, you see that the Iranian regime even don't dare to ask the army to take to the street. There are plainclothes there, Basiji there, Revolutionary Guards there. So the army is ready, but they have to see the signal, you know? So that is why it breaks my heart when I still see that the Western democratic countries, they hesitate to say that we are with you, the people of Iran. Because Iranian people are risking their lives, getting killed, facing guns and bullets every day. They're just ready to bring this regime down, but they have to see the signal that the democratic countries are going to help them morally, and not just morally, practically, saying that we are with you. Instead of sending billions of dollars to the regime, they have to send money to oil workers, to army, to people inside Iran who are fighting the Islamic Republic.
I have only one last question that requires only a 5-second answer.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, well,
I'm sure you understand my anger.
like I said, a man's reach must exceed his grasp, or what's a heavens for? When the regime comes to an end, as it will you be part of the new government?
My dream is to bring this regime down and go back and hug all those true leaders who are in prison right now and hug them. Believe me, we, the people of Iran, can run the country better than these backward and barbaric mullahs.
Masih, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you
There
so
you go.
much.
That's great.
Even shaking hand with men is forbidden.